You like this? Is that cool? What about that? That's pretty good, yeah? Destruction in Battlefield has been a cornerstone of the franchise for years, and I know what you're thinking. I clicked this video because it was a video of the finals, and you're showing me Battlefield. Why? Well, the guys who made all of this, the ones who made games that gave me 20 years of nostalgic memories that I still remember to this day, are the ones who are responsible for making the finals. Yeah, the ex-Battlefield Chief Design Officer over at EA Games, Patrick Sunderland, is now the CEO of Embark Studios, the dev studio responsible for the finals. I also know what you're thinking now. How do you go from making a pseudo-realistic shooter into something that looks like a 12-year-old is playing on his Xbox during a Mountain Dew commercial? Yo, real talk for a second, grabbing my bike, going down to the gas station with my brother to get those codes underneath the little tiny caps was awesome. Can we bring that type of stuff back? A collab between Mountain Dew and the finals would go hard. So this is the finals. The guys over at DICE said, you know what? I had fun making Battlefield, but let's make our own studio. And let's take everything we know about the FPS space and change it. Let's make something new. Let's make something different. And let's make something that's just fun to play. And all of that starts with the world the player is in. The entire playable space is destructible in the finals, and not destructible in quotation marks, but destructible underline bolded. If you want to blow it up, you can blow it up. We're playing a game with RPGs, with C4, with a freaking sledgehammer. You should be able to destroy everything, just like in a game like Battlefield. If you shoot a tank round through a building, you expect that building to fall down. Even though this world isn't realistic because players don't burst into coins and you can't magically just teleport gas canisters away from you, you're still immersed in it because everything makes sense. But the immersion and the sprinkling of Battlefield doesn't just stop at destruction. You have weapons that feel like they're made by people who actually know what they're doing. We have the old tried and true AK, the cult classic FAMAS. If you want to LARP like you're in Vietnam, you can use the M60 machine gun. Maybe you're a World War II history buff and you want to use a flamethrower, or maybe you can use the new weapon that was just released in Season 6, and that is the old school Western repeater. It feels like you're channeling Red Dead Redemption and is extremely fun to use. There we go, dude, the repeater is it. Come on! There we go! Ah! Come on!
Let's go, boy!
Now, with the repeater, I was able to hold my own, kill a team and a half, and nearly clutch out everything, all during a special event, all thanks to Embark. Thank you for the invite, and also thank you, Embark, for sponsoring today's video. Hashtag sellout and all that good stuff. By the way, did you know that this game is free to play? Link in the description below. But real talk for a second, I'm actually really bummed out I never played this when it released over a year and a half ago. I typically play games like this, where I'm walking around doing nothing. It's very slow paced. It really channels my inner boomer energy, staring at maps, looking at terrain features, and thinking to myself, well, yes, if we take this 20-minute flank with our M113 APC, we can hit the enemy where they least expect it, and then hit them with indirect fire support, assault through the objective, and capture it in due time. Now, in the finals, there's no time for that, but that doesn't mean that you're not thinking, that you're not trying to come up with a strategy and execute tactics in order to get the objective or take the objective away from someone. The whole point of life is money. The point of the finals is money. You find these vaults of cash, bring them to a cash out location and protect it, or if someone else has it, try to steal it from them, and at the end of the game, whoever has cashed out with the most money wins. Of course you want to kill the enemy team. If there's no enemy around, then you can easily get all the money. But you can't just simply run in and frag out. In order to be successful in the finals, you need the perfect combination of weapons, gadgets, and characters for your entire team. These are the characters you can play as, and they all have their unique roles. You can be light, medium, or heavy. Lights can do things like go invisible. You can quickly dash around or grapple. You can ambush players with daggers, use ninja swords, hit them up with SMGs, or even go across the map and snipe them from afar. Mediums are well-rounded. They have a bit slower rate of fire weapons like the AK, SCAR, or repeater I mentioned earlier. They can place jump pads to get around the map, toss proximity sensors to see where everyone is, and even heal your teammates. Heavies are your tanks. They got a lot of health, but the trade-off is they're incredibly slow. They can use things like the machine guns, RPGs, flamethrowers, and they help protect your team and soak up damage. As you play the finals and discover your own playstyle as well as the playstyle of your friends, you'll start to learn how you guys can actually synergize properly for your own team, but also be able to counter what the enemy has. For example, here, there was a light player who would stand across the map and just snipe at us. So I grabbed a goo gun, plugged up all the windows, and they had no sightline. Easy cash out. Or this time, we were going up against the players that were super movement heavy. I have no idea how they got around the map, but there was no way in hell that we could get to the cash out at the top floor of this 6-story building. So grabbed a sledgehammer and began demoing the entire thing so the cash box would fall all the way down to the first floor. Yes, this game looks super fast and super hectic, and if you're saying to yourself, I don't think I can 360 no-scope, glide dash around and kill people, who cares? Grab a hammer and just start destroying everything in game. It will actually help. The finals is super fast-paced, but like I said, you really need to think about your situation. In the casual game mode called Quick Cash, the first team to get $20,000 wins. But there's a World Tour game mode that takes this 3v3 and turns it into a 3v3v3v3. There's 4 different teams of 3. Technically there's 8, but you're split up into 2 different brackets. Now when you play World Tour, instead of 1 vault to get cash from, there are 2 vaults. There are multiple locations to cash out, and this creates a lot more strategy and tactical opportunities in order to qualify for the next round. It's no longer first to 20,000, and since you can see who's qualifying in the top left as the game goes on, you can begin to strategize a little bit and say, that team that currently is at that cash out, they're actually in first place. I don't care about them. Let me attack the people in second and third so maybe I can leapfrog them and get into qualifying positions. We've even had times where we saw a cash out going to someone that was in first place and said, I don't think I can actually kill these people. Instead, let's protect them. Let's help them out so that the other 2 teams can't get that cash out. They can't get the steal. And that means first and us in second are going to move forward. It's a really cool game mode. It makes you think about everything differently. You have to call audibles, swap up your strategy all of a sudden, and it really makes qualifying and getting through this tournament even more rewarding. In one round, we actually blocked what we felt was the better team from getting a final cash out and instead gave it to another side, and because of that, we got to play the worst team in the championship. That was so rewarding to look at those guys and know that they were higher level than us, know that they were playing better, but because we had a better strategy, we were able to move forward. Now, you may look at all this and say, this is cool, but you said we're on like season 6, so how am I going to be able to play when people have been playing this game for 6 seasons now? I'm a new player and I'm going to get absolutely smoked. The truth is, you're not going to get crushed. You're going to get absolutely destroyed. Sometimes, okay? Sometimes. Yes, of course, there's going to be a hardcore player base that has been playing the finals and only the finals since it came out. But the weapons, the gadgets, they're actually all pretty well balanced. It just really takes some time to understand the movement, the maps, and how the game works. After an hour or so of playing around, I feel like I finally fell into it and I understood what to do. The medium AK is pretty decent. The sledgehammer is arguably one of the best weapons for the heavy. The light's basic SMG is probably one of my favorite to use. And after a couple hours, you will understand, you'll have that light bulb moment and you will be able to kill, get cash, and have fun. Additionally, in Season 6, they actually reduced the cost of all these weapons and gadgets, so you don't actually have to grind as much if you are a new player. Now, to prove that new players can actually have fun and play this game and win, I actually won the World Tour Knockout Tournament not once, but twice. But what makes you keep playing the finals is not the winning. Obviously, we all want to win games, but the virtual arena that you're in is immersive. The world is cool. You believe everything around you, and it's just a really fun place to play. There are maps all over the world, and when you go to play in these locations, it actually feels like you're there. There are a couple maps that feel very blocky, like it just was out of a custom Minecraft server, but there's also maps located in Japan that feel like you're playing in Japan, or a Mexican city that feel like you're playing in a Mexican city. While you compete, there's a crowd that cheers you on from outside the stadium. There are banners that randomly showcase you if you're doing well, which is pretty cool, and there are commentators that they're a little cheesy, but it's believable cheesy, and it's esports commentator cheesy. Like, these are things that people in a tournament like League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike, I have heard people say these exact same words. So hearing it in the finals and hearing these commentators actually talk about what's happening in game.
An awkward moment for the Kingfish. Team wiped.
They're definitely a fish out of water.
It's cheesy, but I love it. Speaking about esports, the finals actually announced their very first tournament, and in this Masters, players can compete for $100,000. That's a lot of money, but what's not a lot of money are the cosmetics. Nice segue, huh? While you play the finals, you get this regular in-game currency you earn just by completing matches, and you use that to unlock weapons, but there's also paid currency that you can buy with real money, or you can actually earn this in ranked games and World Tour games. And this paid currency you can use to unlock outfits, pets, all sorts of different cosmetic options, but it's just cosmetic. If you want to dress yourself up, cool, but there's nothing paid in-game that will give you an advantage over someone else. So you can spend absolutely nothing and you're going to be on the same playing field as someone who has dropped hundreds of dollars. Now, if you're looking at all this and you say, this is cool, but I don't want to do super hardcore Twitch brain thinking, can I just like play? Just shoot people? You can literally just do team deathmatch. They have new game modes every season. Right now, you can also play Terminal Attack, which is a 5v5 attack and defense game mode. You can also do Power Shift, a new game mode where you all attack a platform, and if you're on it, you try to push it towards the other person's zone. The furthest into the zone wins. This type of stuff makes it really refreshing, but you can also earn that in-game unlock currency so you can keep progressing your character, your gadgets, all that type of stuff. And for even more customization options, the devs just released optics, so you can use things like the HoloSight or the OKP7. Throw it on there, and you can have weapons that feel a little bit more modernized and help for those more accurate shots. Wait, did I even talk about the minigun yet? Yeah, there's a new minigun. It absolutely melts people. It's awesome. All right, this is a long way of saying it, but if you're sick of FPS games just feeling like rehashes of old FPS games, and there really hasn't been anything different in the market for 5 years now, check out the finals. It's free to play. You can play it on PC on Steam, or Xbox, PlayStation, whatever your console is of choice. Test it out, link down in the description below. It's free. The worst that can happen is that you don't like it and you uninstall, but you're probably going to like it. As I mentioned before, Season 6 just dropped, so if you do want to jump in, now is the perfect time. Get your Battle Pass going, check out all the new weapons, get some unlocks now that they're a lot cheaper, and you're going to have a lot of fun. Thanks for Embark for sponsoring this video, and now I'm going to go blow some stuff up.